Imagine holding a coin so rare, so powerful, that a single penny could make you a billionaire overnight. These wheat pennies from 1944, 1945, 1948, 1951, and 1955 aren't just currency, they are hidden fortunes, whispering secrets of unimaginable wealth. One perfect coin could change your life forever, yet most are forgotten, lost, or hidden. Don't underestimate these tiny relics, they hold the power to rewrite your destiny. First up, the 1951 wheat penny is one of those coins that looks ordinary at first glance, yet quietly carries the weight of American history, human ambition, and the strange way destiny sometimes hides unimaginable value in the smallest objects. This 1-cent coin was born in a world still healing from World War II, a time when the United States was reshaping itself as a global power. Factories were alive, steel was moving, copper was in demand, and every coin minted had a purpose far greater than pocket change. The wheat penny had already become a symbol of stability and trust, and by 1951, it was nearing the end of its historic journey. What makes this year special is not loud or obvious. It's subtle, and that subtlety is exactly where extreme value often hides. In 1951, the U.S. Mint produced wheat pennies at multiple facilities, and while millions were struck, not all coins were created equal. Coins are like people. Some live ordinary lives, while a very small number experience extraordinary circumstances that change their destiny forever. A tiny difference in metal flow, a slight misalignment, an unexpected die variation, or an unusual strike pressure can silently turn a common coin into something collectors whisper about for decades. These rare survivors don't announce themselves loudly. They wait patiently, sometimes for generations, until the right eyes recognize them. The wheat penny itself already carries deep historical emotion. The image of Abraham Lincoln on the front connects the coin to unity, sacrifice, and resilience, while the wheat ears on the reverse symbolize growth, harvest, and national strength. By 1951, this design had already served America for more than 4 decades. It had passed through wars, depressions, and recoveries. Coins from this era often show heavy wear because they were used daily, meaning exceptional condition examples are far scarcer than mint numbers suggest. When survival rates drop, value begins to rise quietly but powerfully. Now here's where things become truly interesting. Among collectors, the idea of $1 million wheat penny is not about the year printed on the coin alone, it's about the story the coin carries in its metal. A 1951 wheat penny preserved in near-perfect condition, with original luster, sharp strike details, and untouched surfaces, already steps into elite territory. But when such condition meets an unusual minting characteristic, the coin moves into a realm where prices stop making sense to ordinary people. At that level, value is no longer measured in cents or dollars, but in rarity, demand, and prestige. Some coins are valuable because they are old. Others are valuable because they are rare. The most powerful coins are valuable because they are unexpectedly rare. A wheat penny that was never meant to exist in a certain way, yet somehow does, creates shockwaves in the collecting world. These coins don't appear often at auctions. Sometimes they change hands privately, quietly, far away from headlines. That silence feeds the legend. When collectors hear whispers of a 1951 wheat penny with extraordinary characteristics, the competition becomes emotional, and emotions drive prices far higher than logic ever could. Condition plays a role so massive that it cannot be overstated. 2 wheat pennies from 1951 can look identical to the untrained eye, yet one may be worth a few dollars while the other commands a price that can change a family's future. Surface preservation, strike sharpness, natural toning, and untouched originality act together like a perfect storm. Coins like this are not cleaned, not polished, not altered. The moment a coin is improved, it often loses its magic forever. True wealth hides in authenticity. The psychology of collectors is another hidden engine of value. High-end collectors don't just buy coins, they buy status, history, and the thrill of owning something few people on Earth will ever touch. When a rare 1951 wheat penny enters the spotlight, it becomes a trophy. 2 wealthy collectors competing for the same coin can push prices into levels that feel unreal. At that moment, the coin stops being metal and becomes a symbol of victory, intelligence, and legacy. That's how numbers climb into territory most people never imagine. There's also the mystery factor. Coins from the early 1950s were produced during periods of intense industrial activity, and not every anomaly was documented or discovered immediately. Some unusual pieces slipped through unnoticed, living normal lives in circulation before being tucked away in drawers, jars, or inherited collections. Decades later, when rediscovered, these coins appear almost mythical. That mystery alone fuels fascination and drives collectors into obsession mode, where price becomes secondary to ownership. The idea that a simple 1-cent coin could transform someone's life overnight feels unreal, yet history has shown again and again that it happens. Not often, but enough to keep hope alive. The most important lesson is patience. Rushing to sell a coin without understanding its true nature is how fortunes are lost before they are even realized. Coins that reach extreme values do so because someone waited, studied, protected, and respected what they had. Wealth favors restraint far more than speed. The 1951 Wheat Penny also sits at a turning point in American coinage history. Only a few years later, the wheat design would disappear, replaced by a new reverse that marked a new era. That makes late-date wheat pennies emotionally powerful to collectors. They represent the final breaths of a long-standing tradition. Coins at the end of an era often gain significance over time, especially when paired with scarcity in top condition. Another reason these coins inspire such dramatic conversations is that they blur the line between ordinary life and extraordinary luck. Anyone could have touched one. Anyone could still have one. That possibility electrifies the imagination. It's not about guaranteed wealth, it's about potential. And potential is one of the most valuable forces in the world. A 1951 wheat penny sitting unnoticed today may already be history's quiet miracle. True collectors understand that coins don't create wealth instantly, they reveal it. The value was always there, waiting for the right moment and the right understanding. That's why education matters more than excitement. A person who knows what to look for holds power. The rest see only copper, the informed see opportunity. This difference separates casual owners from life-changing discoveries. The legend of the 1951 wheat penny continues not because every coin is valuable, but because a few extraordinary examples prove what is possible. Those rare coins redefine expectations and keep the dream alive for generations. They remind us that history doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers through a 1-cent coin, waiting for someone patient enough to listen. So if you ever hold a 1951 wheat penny in your hand, remember this: its true worth is not decided by its face value or by haste. Its worth lives in knowledge, condition, rarity, and timing. Selling too early is easy. Waiting wisely is hard. And in the world of rare coins, the hardest choices are often the ones that lead to unimaginable rewards. Second up, the 1948 wheat penny is not just a coin from America's past. It is a silent witness to a world standing at the edge of a new era. Struck only a few years after World War II, this 1-cent coin was born during a time when the United States was rebuilding confidence, power, and identity. Every piece of copper carried purpose, every coin passed through countless hands, and yet a very small number escaped the rough life of circulation. Those survivors are not ordinary objects anymore. They are time capsules, holding the emotional weight of a nation moving from survival to dominance. By 1948, the wheat penny design had already earned deep respect among Americans. Lincoln's portrait symbolized unity after hardship, while the wheat stalks represented hope, productivity, and renewal. This was not accidental symbolism. It reflected the national mood perfectly. Coins from this year were used heavily, meaning that true high-grade examples are far rarer today than mint numbers suggest. Scarcity created by time and use is one of the most powerful forces in the coin world, and the 1948 wheat penny sits directly in that pressure zone. What truly separates legendary coins from common ones is not how many were made, but how many survived untouched. A 1948 wheat penny that retains sharp details, original surfaces, and natural aging becomes something completely different from its worn relatives. At that level, the coin stops being a piece of currency and starts becoming an artifact. Collectors don't chase perfection casually. They hunt it obsessively, because perfection from a working-class era is almost unnatural. There is also something psychologically powerful about late 1940s American coins. They come from a moment when optimism was rising but uncertainty still lingered. Industrial speed was high, quality control was stretched, and small irregularities could slip through unnoticed. Those tiny differences, often invisible to the untrained eye, can quietly transform a simple 1948 wheat penny into an object of extreme desire. When such a coin is discovered decades later, its story instantly grows larger than the metal itself. Million-dollar conversations around coins never begin with hype, they begin with disbelief. The idea that a 1-cent coin could carry life-changing value feels almost insulting to logic, and yet logic has never ruled the collectibles world. Emotion, competition, rarity, and prestige are the true currencies here. When elite collectors realize that a specific 1948 wheat penny stands apart from the rest, the price no longer follows rules, it follows obsession. Condition acts like a gatekeeper to wealth. Two coins can share the same date and appearance, yet one may barely be worth mentioning while the other commands attention from serious money. A top-tier 1948 wheat penny shows depth in its strike, clarity in Lincoln's expression, and surfaces that tell a story without being damaged by time. Such coins are not improved, altered, or polished. They survive honestly, and honesty is priceless in this world. The reason these coins can reach unbelievable values lies in how collectors think long-term. Wealthy collectors don't buy coins to flip them tomorrow, they buy them to secure a place in history. Owning a truly exceptional wheat penny from 1948 is not about cents, it's about owning a surviving fragment of post-war America that almost no one else can match. That exclusivity drives prices upward quietly, steadily, and sometimes explosively. There is also the element of silence. Some of the most valuable coins in existence are not famous because they were never loudly sold. They moved privately, from one serious collector to another, away from public noise. This creates mystery, and mystery fuels desire. When rumors circulate about extraordinary 1948 wheat pennies held in private hands, it keeps the dream alive and the demand burning. What makes stories like this powerful is that they remain possible. Unlike ancient artifacts locked in museums, wheat pennies once lived in everyday pockets. That reality creates hope. Someone, somewhere, could still be holding something extraordinary without knowing it. That possibility keeps people searching, studying, and believing that history can still surprise us. The danger lies in impatience. Many fortunes are lost not because value wasn't there, but because understanding wasn't. Selling a coin quickly without recognizing its deeper potential is one of the most common mistakes ever made in collecting. Coins that reach extreme values usually do so because someone chose patience over excitement. They protected the coin, learned its story, and waited for the right moment. The 1948 wheat penny also carries significance as part of the final chapter of a legendary design. Only a few years later, the wheat reverse would disappear forever. That makes coins from this period emotionally charged. End-of-era objects often gain importance over time, especially when they survive in exceptional condition. They become symbols of transition, not just currency. Collectors are drawn to coins like this because they represent controlled chaos. A perfect balance of mass production and accidental rarity. The system created millions, but fate chose only a few to become extraordinary. That randomness gives these coins an almost mythical status, turning them into stories rather than objects. In the end, the 1948 wheat penny teaches a quiet but powerful lesson. Value does not always shine loudly. Sometimes it hides behind familiarity, waiting for knowledge to unlock it. The coin does not promise wealth to everyone, but to the right person, at the right time, with the right understanding, it can absolutely rewrite a future. So if you ever come across a 1948 wheat penny, don't rush, don't dismiss it, and don't underestimate it. Its power does not lie in copper alone, but in history, rarity, and patience. Some fortunes are built loudly. Others are discovered silently. And sometimes, all it takes is one small coin to remind us that destiny often travels in the most unexpected forms. Third up, the 1955 wheat penny is one of those coins that seems ordinary at first glance, yet quietly carries a story of a nation rising into modern prosperity and a secret that can change fortunes overnight. Struck in the mid-1950s, this coin comes from a period when America was buzzing with energy, innovation, and hope. The post-war boom had transformed cities, industries, and households, and everyday currency circulated through hands that were building new dreams. But amidst this flood of coins, a few rare survivors emerged, silently holding value far beyond their copper weight, waiting for the world to notice them. By 1955, the wheat penny design had already become a symbol of endurance. Lincoln's portrait on the obverse reflected integrity and leadership, while the reverse wheat stalks symbolized growth, prosperity, and promise. Every wheat penny minted carried these symbols into the pockets of Americans, into stores, banks, and even tiny savings jars. Yet, despite millions produced, only a few would survive the decades in extraordinary condition, untouched by wear, damage, or cleaning, a fact that makes certain 1955 wheat pennies incredibly valuable today. The magic of the 1955 wheat penny lies in its rarity of condition. Most coins were spent, lost, or exchanged countless times. Those that retained their original mint luster, sharp details, and perfectly preserved surfaces are nothing short of miracles. In the world of coin collectors, these exceptional specimens are no longer simple currency. They are pieces of history, artifacts that command respect, awe, and sometimes prices that defy comprehension. When one appears in a private collection or auction, it becomes the center of attention, as though it were calling out for recognition. What makes certain 1955 wheat pennies reach astronomical values is not just their age, but the unusual characteristics some bear. Tiny differences in die strikes, minting errors, or subtle variations in copper composition can silently create legends. Coins that slipped through quality controls unnoticed become treasures decades later. Collectors are obsessed with these anomalies because they are rare, unpredictable, and often hold stories no one else can touch. It is this mix of rarity, history, and perfection that can turn a simple 1-cent coin into a fortune beyond imagination. Emotion plays a huge role in determining the value of such coins. Collectors don't merely purchase coins, they buy history, prestige, and the thrill of owning something almost mythical. The 1955 wheat penny in pristine condition is not just a coin, it is a symbol of triumph over time, a tangible link to the dreams, struggles, and achievements of mid-century America. When such a coin enters the market, wealthy collectors compete fiercely, sometimes pushing prices into realms that seem impossible, but that are very real in the hidden economy of rare coin collecting. The psychology behind these coins is subtle but powerful. Rare 1955 wheat pennies are often found in collections passed down through generations, tucked away in drawers, jars, or old envelopes. The untrained eye sees copper and age. The trained eye sees opportunity, potential, and a gateway to unimaginable wealth. This anticipation, combined with historical significance, creates a market where prices are driven less by logic and more by desire, prestige, and the thrill of owning what few will ever touch. Condition is the ultimate gatekeeper of value. Two 1955 wheat pennies may look similar, but one could be worth mere dollars while the other could shatter previous auction records. The key lies in sharpness of strike, clarity of Lincoln's features, the brilliance of the original copper, and surfaces untouched by human hands. Coins that retain this integrity are exceedingly rare, because most circulated heavily and were worn, cleaned, or damaged. Such coins become elite objects that collectors fight over, quietly, obsessively, and sometimes ruthlessly. The history of the 1955 wheat penny is not just in its design, but in its era. By the mid-1950s, the United States was reshaping its identity in a rapidly modernizing world. The economy was thriving, culture was shifting, and technology was beginning to transform daily life. Amidst all this, the humble 1-cent coin silently bore witness to history. Those that survived untouched hold more than monetary value. They carry the soul of a transformative period in American life, frozen in copper. Rarity is amplified by the human element. Coins are not just metal, they are objects of chance. A perfectly preserved 1955 wheat penny may have escaped circulation by accident, forgotten in a coin jar, or stored by someone who recognized its beauty but could not imagine its ultimate worth. That element of luck, of surviving decades against odds, is what elevates such coins from historical curiosity to billion-dollar potential, in theory. It is the intersection of time, care, and chance that makes collectors revere them so fiercely. The legend of the 1955 wheat penny also thrives on mystery. Not every valuable coin is publicly known. Some reside in private collections, silently appreciating in value, while rumors circulate in collector circles about the one that got away or the hidden gem in the attic. This mystery drives fascination and fuels the perception of extreme value. Each discovery writes a new chapter in the story of what this coin can mean to someone who holds it at the right moment. Fortunes are built quietly in the coin world, and the 1955 wheat penny exemplifies this. Its worth is not just in the copper, not just in its age, but in its survival, condition, and the imagination it inspires. Selling too quickly, or failing to recognize its true potential, can erase a fortune before it even materializes. Those who wait, study, and protect their coins often see rewards that far exceed the obvious ordinary calculations of worth. Collectors understand that the 1955 wheat penny is not merely a commodity, it is a statement. It is about owning a fragment of history that almost no one else has, about holding an object that bridges past and present, and about the rare thrill of realizing that something so small can carry immense potential. Coins at this level transcend value. They become symbols of insight, foresight, and the patient pursuit of opportunity. The 1955 wheat penny is also a reminder that history is not always obvious. Wealth, power, and significance can reside in the smallest of places, waiting for the perceptive eye to discover them. It is a lesson in patience, observation, and the understanding that not all treasures announce themselves. Sometimes, the most extraordinary value is hidden in what seems ordinary. Finally, the 1955 wheat penny teaches that true potential is silent but unstoppable. In the hands of the right collector, at the right time, a coin like this could redefine a future. It is not just copper, it is history, luck, patience, and the power of rare opportunity forged into one small disc. Holding such a coin is not about immediate reward. It is about understanding its story, respecting its rarity, and imagining what it can do if treated wisely. The 1955 wheat penny, in the right condition, is not just a coin. It is a whisper of destiny, waiting for the one who recognizes its power. Fourth up. The 1945 wheat penny is not merely a piece of metal. It is a silent witness to a world emerging from the shadows of war. Struck in a year that marked the end of World War II, this humble 1-cent coin carries with it the echoes of a nation finding peace, stability, and hope. Millions of these coins passed through the hands of everyday Americans, yet a select few survived decades untouched, their copper surfaces quietly preserving history and unimaginable potential. These survivors are more than currency, they are keys to fortunes hidden in plain sight. In 1945, America was at a turning point. Factories were transitioning from wartime production, cities were bustling with energy, and families were rebuilding lives interrupted by global conflict. The Lincoln wheat penny was everywhere, yet most coins were used heavily, their surfaces dulled by decades of circulation. That's what makes rare, high-grade 1945 wheat pennies extraordinary. Only a handful of these coins escaped wear, and those that did are among the most sought after by collectors who understand that time is the ultimate filter for value. The design itself tells a story. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse speaks of leadership, resilience, and unity, while the reverse wheat stalks represent prosperity, harvest, and hope. Each coin, when struck, became more than a monetary instrument. It was a symbol of the nation's endurance and optimism. By 1945, the wheat penny design had matured into a collector's treasure, and coins that survived in pristine condition carry not only monetary value but historical significance that cannot be quantified in simple numbers. What truly separates a life-changing 1945 wheat penny from ordinary examples is rarity of condition and subtle anomalies in production. Millions were minted, but only a few retained sharpness, original luster, and untouched surfaces. Some bear minute die variations, tiny misalignments, or slight planchet imperfections that collectors prize immensely. These nuances, invisible to the casual eye, can elevate a single penny from modest worth to the realm of unimaginable wealth, capable of changing a life overnight if preserved properly. Emotion and imagination play a powerful role in the value of these coins. High-end collectors are drawn not by face value but by the thrill of owning a tangible piece of history. A 1945 wheat penny in exceptional condition represents more than copper. It embodies a narrative, a connection to a pivotal moment in American history, and a rare opportunity to hold something almost mythical. When such a coin is discovered, it often ignites fierce competition, pushing prices to extraordinary heights far beyond ordinary expectation. The 1945 wheat penny also carries the mystique of time. Some of the rarest coins today spent years hidden in forgotten jars, wallets, or old coin collections, surviving decades without damage or attention. That element of survival against the odds enhances both desirability and value. Each untouched penny becomes a symbol of patience and foresight, a silent reminder that fortune often favors those who recognize the hidden potential in what others overlook. Condition is the ultimate differentiator. Two 1945 wheat pennies may appear identical to most eyes, yet one could be worth mere dollars while the other could spark intense bidding in private sales or auctions. Preservation of original detail, absence of cleaning, and natural toning are crucial. Coins that maintain their authenticity, with Lincoln's features sharp and wheat stalks clear, are exceedingly rare and command prices that feel almost unreal to the uninitiated. Historical context enhances the coin's aura. 1945 was a year of global transition. The war ended, soldiers returned home, economies were rebounding, and American society was poised for transformation. A coin minted in this period carries the energy and optimism of a nation in flux. Every penny passed through hands shaped by history, absorbing a silent story that enhances its mystique and desirability among collectors seeking more than mere metal. Rarity is amplified by human factors. Some exceptional 1945 wheat pennies survived because of care, luck, or oversight. Perhaps a coin was tucked into a jar for future savings, forgotten in a desk drawer, or preserved by someone who valued its appearance. These fortuitous circumstances create coins that are few and far between, giving them an almost mythical status in the collecting world. The fact that such coins exist at all fuels endless fascination. The value of a 1945 wheat penny is more than dollars. It is potential. A coin like this in top condition could make fortunes, and the right collector recognizes it instantly. Selling too quickly or without proper understanding often means losing life-changing wealth before it is realized. Those who study, protect, and wait see rewards that far surpass the ordinary, turning a simple copper disc into a symbol of patience and insight. Mystery drives desire. Not all valuable 1945 wheat pennies are known publicly. Some remain in private collections, quietly appreciating over decades. Rumors of extraordinary examples, tucked away in attics or safety deposit boxes, create a sense of legend and anticipation. That narrative power adds to the coin's allure, making collectors willing to pay top prices to secure a piece of history that few can ever touch. Collectors are drawn to these coins not just for money, but for legacy. Owning a rare 1945 wheat penny is about prestige, knowledge, and connection to the past. It is about holding a fragment of history that almost no one else has, and the thrill of knowing that such a small, seemingly insignificant object can carry immense power. These coins transcend their nominal value, becoming symbols of foresight, patience, and the rare ability to recognize opportunity. The 1945 wheat penny reminds us that extraordinary potential often hides in the ordinary. It takes a trained eye, patience, and understanding to see what others overlook. That is why these coins continue to captivate and why their value can skyrocket when condition, rarity, and historical significance align. They are reminders that fortune does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers through a tiny copper disc. Finally, the 1945 wheat penny is more than a coin. It is a lesson in patience, history, and the quiet power of rarity. In the right hands, at the right moment, it can change lives, embodying wealth, legacy, and historical resonance. It whispers a timeless truth. Destiny often hides in the smallest, most overlooked places, and those who recognize it can turn a simple penny into an extraordinary fortune. Fifth up. The 1944 wheat penny is far more than a simple piece of copper. It is a relic of a world in turmoil, a quiet survivor of one of the most pivotal periods in human history. Minted during the final stages of World War II, this coin carries with it the echoes of sacrifice, resilience, and hope. Millions of these pennies circulated through the hands of soldiers, factory workers, and families rebuilding their lives, yet only a rare few survived decades of wear and tear in near-perfect condition. Those rare survivors are not just coins, they are time machines, vessels of unimaginable potential, and symbols of fortune waiting to be discovered. By 1944, the Lincoln wheat penny had already become an enduring symbol of stability in American currency. Abraham Lincoln's portrait, solemn and dignified, spoke of leadership, integrity, and unity. On the reverse, the twin wheat stalks symbolized prosperity, growth, and the promise of the American dream. Coins of this era were everywhere, yet their heavy circulation meant that pristine examples are almost mythical today. When a collector encounters a 1944 wheat penny in flawless condition, it is like touching history itself, a tangible piece of a world forever changed by war. The uniqueness of the 1944 wheat penny lies not just in its age, but in its remarkable ability to survive unscathed. Most coins from this period show heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration from decades of handling. A perfect specimen, however, retains its original mint luster, sharp details, and untouched surfaces, creating a rarity that collectors will pay extraordinary amounts to acquire. At this level, the coin transcends its monetary value, becoming a treasure of historical, emotional, and financial significance. Even subtle differences in minting can elevate the 1944 wheat penny to legendary status. Small die errors, slight misalignments, or unusual copper shades can transform an ordinary coin into a near-mythical artifact. These anomalies often go unnoticed for decades, quietly waiting in drawers or coin jars, until a keen collector recognizes their significance. When these rare variations are identified, they can command prices that defy logic, creating fortunes almost overnight for those who possess them. Emotion drives the coin collecting world as much as rarity. Owning a 1944 wheat penny in exceptional condition is not just about wealth. It is about prestige, historical connection, and the thrill of holding something few people in the world will ever see. The coin becomes a symbol of triumph over time, a link to a generation that lived through unprecedented hardship and emerged with hope. When such a coin appears at auction or in a private sale, it ignites intense competition, as collectors compete not only for money but for the pride of ownership. The story of the 1944 wheat penny is also a story of survival. Many of the most valuable examples spent decades hidden away, tucked in safety deposit boxes, drawers, or family collections, untouched and unnoticed. Their very existence is a testament to luck, foresight, and chance. Each coin that survives in near-perfect condition becomes a symbol of patience, teaching us that time itself filters and amplifies value. Condition is the ultimate measure of worth. Two 1944 wheat pennies may appear identical at first glance, but one could be worth a fraction of a dollar while the other could spark bidding wars in the six-figure range. Sharpness of strike, clarity in Lincoln's features, and natural toning all contribute to this extreme divergence. A coin preserved without cleaning, polishing, or tampering is the holy grail of collectors, and its rarity ensures it can command astonishing prices. The historical context of 1944 adds to the coin's allure. America was at war, yet the country was also preparing for peace. Soldiers were returning home, industries were shifting, and the population was hopeful for a brighter future. A coin minted during this year represents the resilience, courage, and optimism of a generation that faced tremendous challenges. That narrative is embedded in the coin, making it more than just copper. It becomes a story captured in metal. Human factors amplify rarity even further. Some of the most valuable 1944 wheat pennies survived only because of circumstance. Someone valued it enough to save it, or it was hidden away by chance, avoiding decades of circulation. These lucky survivors are few, making them highly coveted. Their scarcity, combined with historical significance, elevates them to near-mythical status, commanding attention and admiration from the most serious collectors. The value of a 1944 wheat penny is also psychological. It represents potential, opportunity, and foresight. The right collector can see beyond the copper face to the fortune hidden within. Selling hastily or without proper knowledge often results in losing life-changing wealth. Those who wait, study, and protect their coins often realize rewards that far exceed the ordinary, proving that patience in the coin world is not just a virtue, it is the pathway to fortune. Mystery and legend surround these coins. Many of the most extraordinary 1944 wheat pennies are unknown to the public, held privately and quietly appreciating in value. Tales of hidden treasures tucked away in attics, forgotten collections, or safety deposit boxes fuel the imagination, making collectors eager to find what might still be out there. The allure of the unknown drives demand, creating a market where competition and prices escalate dramatically. Collectors seek more than money. They seek legacy. Owning a 1944 wheat penny in pristine condition is about being part of a story, connecting with history, and securing a piece of the past that few others can claim. It is a tangible reminder that wealth is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for the discerning eye to recognize its true value. These coins transcend ordinary collection. They become symbols of insight, patience, and foresight. The 1944 wheat penny teaches an essential truth. Extraordinary potential often resides in the smallest, most overlooked objects. Those who recognize it, protect it, and wait patiently are often rewarded beyond imagination. The coin's value is silent but unstoppable, quietly growing as history and rarity converge. It is a testament to the power of perspective, understanding, and respect for history. Finally, the 1944 wheat penny is not just copper, it is destiny. In the right hands, at the right time, it can transform lives. It is a symbol of patience, history, and rare opportunity, a small object carrying the weight of time and chance. Those who recognize its power are reminded that fortune often hides where we least expect it, and that even a single penny can whisper the promise of unimaginable wealth.